Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more than meta. This is going to be live gameplay. Once again, me using the Philadelphia playbook. I'm going to be focusing on a bunch of stacked formations, or basically twin formations, two tight end formations, two wide receivers. In particular, you'll see me jumping into the shotgun deuce close. It's not a formation I use a lot, but it's got a lot of great concepts, and it's got some pretty cool money plays or plays that you could use in this. I do want to do a shout out to some of my patrons: Oscar Jr. Alerma, South Floyd Lay, Max Rosie, MC White, Alan Grigory, and then Nola Boy 38. Want to thank you for your support on the channel. And guys, please give any kind of feedback on some of the things that you need help with, because I definitely prioritize my assistance with the people that are my patrons. So let's go ahead and jump into this gameplay, guys. This might be a little bit of a longer video of me using my offense. This guy was actually a fairly good opponent. He picked up on tendencies and stuff like that. But in this particular game, actually defense won it for me for the most thing. So right here, I quickly jump into basically this play, and really my goal was to go ahead and do the run off to the left with the running back. But what happened is I didn't hold down my button with the run, and I got stuck with my quarterback. Now I actually was trying to run off the left. The blocking with the running back is really good, but you can see the running back was literally getting tackled right here by the guy in the backfield. So I was running, and then I realized right here I actually had the quarterback going on. So I just go ahead and turn it up. I get a nice little angle with the quarterback, and look at this. I ran for like, I don't know, freaking 34 yards with a quarterback run. Something I never do. You guys, if you guys have been watching my gameplay, I'm not a running back person. Now this guy would just jump into a particular defense and stick into it until I showed him I could beat it. So he's going to stay in this mid blitz for a while, and then he'll jump into some other defenses. But he didn't really blend too much, and then he started picking some random defenses as we get a little bit later onto the game. So back into this wing set, I go ahead and audible into the bench dig. And how I set this up is I like to go ahead and take this guy and put him on a flat route. This is my hot read that I'm going to be taking a look at, and then I'll go ahead and take this guy and put him on a wheel route. So when I'm looking at this particular concept, I'm looking 1, 2, and then 3, and then this wheel route essentially would be my 4 over here, or I'd probably look down to the check down as my 4 over here. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the triangle route just to see if anybody goes out to it, and you can see this guy's completely out of position. I've got leverage. I've got a good pass lane right there, so I'm just going to go and take it and pick up 9 yards on it. So that's what I like about that play and that setup, is that it gives me a fast read. I can make my regressions left to right. It's just very easy to do. So right here, let's see if I go with the dig, or if I go with the dig route. And really what I'm looking for with this particular play is I'm looking right here in this area with the 1, and then I'm looking for the view over the top, and then the 3 underneath. And then I'll come back here to the 4 as my last spot with my reads. Looked at the seam. The seam actually was covered up. The dig, basically, I just didn't like this guy. This guy was sitting in a spot right there. So I checked it down. This is really not a very good read. Actually, a smart read is a running back on the backside, because there's not a contested person, and these defenders are floating up. But I get away with one right here. I actually threw it right in here, and that's why I possession catched it, just because I saw the defender right there, so that's why I possession catched it. I didn't try to rack it. There was a defender getting into that passing lane, so I just didn't really like that read. So I only pick up 4 yards, but that's all right. I just have to force my opponent to respect that I'm going to hit the flats when I'm playing this game. Right here, I go back into let's see what I jump into. I don't recall off the top of my head. Okay, so this is a run play. The entire game I was trying to get working, and it never worked for me. I was bouncing off my guys right there. I'm able to fall forward for a pretty good gainer, but for the most part it didn't work that well. Right here, go ahead and jump into basically zone play. This is a split zone play. and I'm able to fall forward for the first down. But his defensive line was pretty stout against me, even with that type of a setup that he's doing. So right here, I go and jump into this play. This is a play that I've been labbing down in the end zone, and really what I'm looking for is just basically the 1 and the 2 route right there. Probably your best bet is to alert this route right here. So it might make more sense to do 1, 2, 3 with your progressions. I'm really looking to the red route because it just blows up coverages, and you can see right here, this guy's coming down, this guy's coming over. This route coming across is going to eventually be free, but I force it in there. So this is just a bad read. I got a touchdown on it, but I want to have pristine reads, good reads, reading the coverage correctly, and I just forced it in there. So because of the RPO, it might have got his defender a little bit outside of position, but it wasn't a good decision. That was a covered guy. I don't like throwing to guys that are covered. I try to break things down unless I know for a fact that route is going to beat a man coverage or that particular coverage. So nice little inside zone. I should have probably curved it up. I curved it back and actually only picked up a single yard. If I would have stayed running forward, I would have picked up probably about 3 or 4 yards on that play. Back at it again right here. Go ahead and do this concept. Once again, looking right here, do the 2 over the top, 3 over here, and then I've got my 4 over here, and I never look to this route. This is a route that I just don't look to when I'm running this. And right here, this route, the drag route, is wide open, and you can see I racked that thing right there because the defenders were floating up. They weren't playing down too much, so able to pick up 9 yards on that route right there. So now I go ahead and jump into another run. So I'm trying. I'm telling you, this is the route I'm trying to do this. I'm seeing the counts. The head counts look pretty good for the most part. This guy's pulling over, so it looks good. It looks like a good head count, but this is the guy that blows everything up. He's blowing, that star player is blowing things up. I think I might have actually, I had went ahead and double teamed him with that anticipation. I was going to double team him. He's using this guy right here. He gets blocked off, and this guy comes down to hit this, get to this route, and I just get behind my tackle instead of falling forward. And this is a huge play right here. Huge play because I ran into my offensive lineman. It puts it into a 4th and 1 situation. Out of frustration because it's such a simple yard and I've got one of the best offensive lines in regs, I go ahead and no huddle. I'm just thinking inside zone. I can pick up a yard on inside zone with this offensive line, right? No, star player gets me behind the line of scrimmage. So just forcing the run in this type of situation. I probably should have went ahead and did a pass play. But as a result, I pay the price right there. So he's up on a score on me. And now I actually have to go ahead and do something with my offense and get another touchdown. So back at it again right here, switching things up, going with the zone split. And I realize this guy's a wrecking ball, so I go ahead and double team this guy right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and just try to run by the double teams. But you can see right here, I get some really good push from my running back, but that's not a great read of the line. So he's in quarters defense now. I'll go ahead and switch things up a little bit. So I like to put this guy in a whip. This is going to be the only adjustment I do. This is my 1, this is my 2, and this is my 3, and then I've got this route over here as a 4. Now, if I feel like this is going to be cover 2, where these defenders are falling back, I'm actually going to try to peek at this guy first as my alert. But it looks like it's a man alignment, so I'm expecting Smith to be wide open with this read. And I guess I checked out of this. I must have checked out of this for some particular reason. Why did I do that? No, I left it in there. So right here, you can see the whip. Whip is wide open. Get a little completion, able to go and turn that up for almost a 10-yard gainer right there. So that's what I love about that particular play concept. But the problem is that if you use that play too much, go to that well too much, you can get yourself in some trouble. So right here, I jump into a different formation. I'm only showing you this to you because this is how I end up getting in the end zone. I was reading cover 2. It wasn't cover 2, but because of that, the way his defenders are playing, I'm either going to complete it and get it in the end zone. So third quarter here, I'm actually down by 8 points. Working the stack formation right here. Let's see if I go into mesh in this. So I've got basically zone play. I'm going to go and double team his star defender. and get a nice little block. But once again, I'm going wide, and whoever's defender was studying the edge. I could never get out wide against this guy. He just set the edge, and he put me in a box right there. So 2nd and 10. He played cover 3. The Lawson guy was actually playing pretty good. So right here, I go ahead and jump back into go into deuce close is probably what I did. And here's what I do. I go ahead and jump into this particular play, which essentially is kind of a hang concept. So what I do is I put this guy in a hook. He's my first read against man coverages, and I streak this guy up. And basically what I'm looking to is just 1, 2, this route right here, 3, and then 4. That's my progression. So I'm going left to right with my progressions. I'm watching to see if a defender falls back into the curl off the left side. So you see how this guy's falling back, this guy's falling back. This is dead to me now. I'm not going to hit this. So now I go ahead and look off to the right. Defender is falling back right here. He brackets, he pushes up this guy here. So these are my 2 reads after that. And right here, the running back is just wide open. There's nobody out there on the sideline, so I pick it up. I pick up an easy progression. So, got to blend that stuff in. He ran cover 2 against me, and I'm able to go and expose him with the cover 2 route right there. So that's why I like to run that player, sprinkling him. So now I go in to jump into mesh spot. Once again, I'm looking. This is similar to a lot of stuff I've used before. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into these 2 routes. These are my 2 routes right here. And then essentially this is my 3rd route, which would be the running back on the backside right there. So there's a poor 3. But really I'm just looking high-low with the whip dig concept. Right here, whip is wide open. I'm always going to take this whip just because I want him to force him to think that he has to play underneath. That's going to open things up for me. We'll come back to that play again, mesh spot, a little bit closer down in the red zone. So I'll go ahead and do this as a crossing route. I run this play stock, or sometimes what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and wheel up the running back. I do think I wheel up the running back to give myself another man read. And really what I'm looking for is the crossing routes, and I look high-low. And you can see this route right here is wide open. I've got the underneath route. He chases the running back, so I don't know why he chose to chase the running back, but he's completely out of position. And because of those posts, they actually clear this out, and I'm able to go to get a nice little completion with that. So he was in cover 3 sky. He chased down the running back wheel, and that kind of got him in a bind. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into deuce close, get him with the RPO play. And I think what I did, no, I go into inside zone. The way his box was set up, I just didn't like it. So you can see right here, get a really good blocking on my center. Actually just mauled this guy. It put me in a situation where I'm a 2nd and 3 type situation. So back at it again, back to the mesh concept. I think I'm going to streak up my tight end. Do I do that? And then I take the other guy and put him out in the flat. So that kind of gives me my 1, my 2, and then I've got a 3 right here, potentially a 4 if I take a quick alert look at that tight end, which this guy's falling away, he's falling away. I've got the running back reel, this guy's coming out, but I'm always looking. These 3 defenders are not going to play this passing concept correctly. So this guy kind of falls back into zones. I've got the whip underneath. The whip is the smart read, but because this guy, I know he's going to break down to the whip, I decide to throw this, and I just basically go ahead and throw it away, back towards the quarterback, and I'm able to go and get a nice little completion. So he jumped into cover 4, which could have got a little bit ugly for me. So back at it again, down in the red zone, using bench curl, and I'm not anticipating him being man coverage, but he ends up being man coverage. But I'm going to go ahead and just hit the hot route out here. Outside, don't really get a good animation, don't push the ball up, and as a result you only pick up a couple yards on that. 3rd and goal situation, I jump into a different formation. So this is completely different, but basically it's just this little route right here. I have to throw a couple more things into my scheme in the red zone because I just can't keep going back to this play down in the red zone because it becomes a little bit predictable. I go ahead and take a guy and put this guy in a flat route. Now here's a bad read by me. I'm looking off to the right, anticipating this is going to be open and anticipating he's going to user this spot. And look at the positioning. right here, this guy sits down, this guy comes biting down, and this route is wide open. But I forced it to the flat. I forced it to the flat. I should have been looking up. That should have been a touchdown. If I would have looked to the second read, it would have been a touchdown. But I just really made a bad choice. So a 4th and goal situation. I'll go back to my play. He gets himself out of position, and I'm able to go ahead and get this touchdown right here with that flanker tight formation. So ends up in this game, I actually get an interception and basically seal the deal against this guy. I got another turnover on defense, and he actually throws into my user, where I pick him off and get a touchdown. But guys, I wanted to show you basically this gameplay that I had against this guy, so you guys can see it. Once again, if you want to see these full schemes, you can go to my Patreon. For $1, you can access majority of my schemes, and if you want to see more of a custom breakdown, you can go and get my ebook breakdown too. So, thank you for support, guys. Until next time.